We are streaming live video on Facebook and invited Almaty Toastmasters Club to join us. So if you see us, greetings from Almaty Toastmasters Club. And before we start, let's discuss about what leadership is. Form a group of 2 or 3 people and answer to the question what leadership means to you. You're going to have 2 minutes and now you can start.
Hey guys, let's have a group here. So what is leadership? Yes, leadership. Who is a leader? Who is a leader? Any ideas?
What kind of leadership to you?
Okay, I can start. Well, for me, a leader is a person who leads a group of people. So he shows example how to be, excellent, how to do a job. So others can follow him. So if they don't know how to do so, he shows the way. So that is a person who must have a lot of qualities, such as public speaking is one of them. To speak in front of the people. Do you have examples of who are leaders?
Only 1 minute left.
President of the country, yeah, exactly. Some famous people, right? Who else? Do you consider yourself leaders? Do you consider yourself to be a leader?
Same question I asked to the members of leadership team, and later on you will discover what leadership means to them. So today the members of leadership team are going to present their reports on what they have done during this term, which was started on July 1st and which is going to end on June 30th. If you have any questions, please write them down, and you can address them to the officers during the Q&A session. They will be after the reports of vice presidents and after the leadership team members' reports. So, digital version of agenda can be obtained from the website toastmasters.kz/agenda. Okay, let me remind you about the house rules. Please switch off your mobile phones to the silent mode now, and you can enter or leave the room only when everybody is clapping. So each officer will be monitored by our timer, Aytuar Adalbayev. Let's welcome him to the stage.
Hello everyone, I'm going to be a timer today. Pretty sure, well, let's say first the role of the timer is to count how much time did you spend on your speech. And these 3 cards will help me. First, when I show you a green card, it means you're doing well and you've got enough time. The yellow means that you possibly need to go to your conclusion. And the red means that you have to stop and finish your speech on a high note. Well, thank you for your attention. Have a good evening.
And the first officer is going to be Vice President of Membership, Ansaya Yedelkhan. I know her as an ambitious, brave, and talented person. She's striving for making our membership meaningful and fruitful. For Jansaya, leadership is when you have a vision, clear vision on what needs to be achieved, inspire others, and when you lead others by your own example. So give you a warm welcome to our VP membership, Jansaya Yidirhan.
Dear friends, as Aisha told, I am Vice President of Membership. If any newcomers today who came for the very first time, please feel free to approach me after the meeting and we can discuss and talk what membership is. But I will briefly go in my presentation as well. But if you want to dive deep and learn more, you are always welcome to come to me and we can talk. How many newcomers today we have? The full room. So quite a lot. So I will be happy to see you after the meeting. So let's start my presentation. Let me explain the duties of Vice President of Membership. First of all, during here I listed some duties which should happen during the meeting. So firstly, I need to greet all the guests and members. And today I had the privilege to come a bit early and greet newcomers, and I hope I was useful. And then provide all guests with the guest packets. Packets include questionnaires to ask how you like the meeting, and then the information sheet where you can learn what club is about, what our values are, and then answer any question that you might have, either before the meeting or after the meeting. Invite guests to join our club, so if you want to join our club, I'm always happy to tell you what steps you need to take to join our club. Make a list of new members who will be inducted during our meetings. Also, contact former guests and members to follow up. So when you leave your details in our guest book, which I provided you earlier, it's not just for myself, it's for you in the future. So I can approach you and we can discuss more what membership is about. So if you haven't done so, we have this black book, which is called guest book. You can leave your details here and then I will contact you later. So this is what happens during the meeting, what are my duties, right? So let's go what happens outside the meeting. So there are a lot of functions which I perform outside the meeting. It's first, it's conducting membership campaigns, membership building programs, which includes ATM talent talks, spotlight series. I will go more in detail a bit later. Then promote membership goals. So clearly define what membership is about and promote our goals of membership. Promote membership building contests, which include icebreaker marathon. I would also go deeper later. Then follow up and keep track of all the guests. This is why I have your details in this book, and I will follow up with you later. And then assist the Vice President of Public Relationships. We work closely with the Vice President of PR on preparation of posters, preparation of posts for the events. And then attend club executive committee meetings, prepare a successor for the office, and then help to organize all the club events. What's membership? Membership is worthwhile and worthwhile participation in a group. So membership is not just about you, membership is about every member of our club, and every member is ready to help you and assist with your help. So what makes membership meaningful? Membership should be relevant to all participants' needs and wants. Membership should be important to you. It's not just some hobby in your life, but it's something you're committed to improve and grow. It should be consequential. People see consequence being involved in a group, resulting in a seeing results in a specific area. And it should be worthwhile of your time, energy, and efforts. So what happened during this term, between July and till April? Our membership has grown from 22 members to 41 members. So that's a significant increase in our membership number. And as of April of 2019, we have 28 members who renewed their memberships. This helped us because we had significant growth in our membership numbers. We had a lot of, we had the Distinguished Club Awards, and that we'll get at the end of the term. So our events, Icebreaker Marathon, which I told you. So every new member is supposed to make an icebreaker speech. It's the first speech in every member's life. within our club. So we had 3 successful icebreaker marathons. One was run by me, second marathon was run by Danyar, our fellow member, and third marathon was run by Alisher. So every quarter we have a membership campaigns or membership contest as such an icebreaker marathon. Another, what I told, it's icebreaker talent talk. So I'm here to help our members to grow and to see their potential in different areas. So wherever our members have some interest or some knowledge in one particular area, I try to develop and try to develop and help them to grow and teach other members of their knowledge and expertise. We had events on how to make motivational letters by Baizakov, our fellow member, and we had a talent talk by Mediocre makeup workshop, which was organized by me and our vice president of events, social events. And also we have Spotlight series. Maybe you're following our Instagram page. So Spotlight series is to learn about members, to learn what they're up to, what they're doing in their life, and how they are becoming competent speaker. So you can see these videos in our Instagram page. And now my plans for the rest of the tour from April to June. So I will keep up with the talent talks. I'm planning to organize a talk on personal finance. There will be another talk on education and technology by Alisher, and there will be another talk by how to learn Spanish with fun by Kima. I will continue doing Spotlight series for the rest of the members, and then I will create a membership committee to help to prepare successors for the office. And then for all the potential new members, if you want to learn more, I will organize a branch, probably to be in May or April, so stay tuned where we can discuss and learn what membership is about. And then I will create a database of newcomers, of new members, so that we have the whole picture of who is attending our meeting, so that we can follow up in the future. That's it. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Nasiya. Okay, the presence of the following officer we see at our social media. She was a mentor of previous Vice President of Public Relations and now effectively supervising her own PR team. Her contribution in developing Toastmasters PR is invaluable, and she's planning to organize an ambitious project which is very exciting. And being a leader, so leadership is being flexible, confident, and a team player for good. And let's welcome to the stage our Vice President of Public Relations, Aygul Kasimova.
Hello everyone, it's been a while, long time no see. I wasn't on the stage like 3 months, so please support me. I'm Vice President of PR, and my responsibilities is social media issues, partnerships, and website, some video issues, all posts. I see all posts you saw on our pages is our PR team work. So follow us and join our club. So, let's see what we've done in 1 year. What's done? It's one style for social media. We're following the guidelines of Toastmasters, global Toastmasters, and we developed posters with our PR team, and maybe I should, you can read this, okay. SML workshop. I did SML workshop for my PR team. We created a lot of visuals with our PR team. And also we did a new Toastmasters website with Danyar's help. So let's see what was done. I created new PR team, and here's members of my PR team. This guy is doing a great job. All posters and all posts and all things on social media you can see is these guys, and I don't know what I will do without them. Also, they are doing the secret SMM project, and all of these guys was secret SMM 1 month on social media. This is a SMM workshop for PRT. Yeah, Alia was taking the photo, that's why she's. It's not Photoshop. So it was on my birthday. I decided to start my year with this good thing. I don't know how to explain this. And we learn. My team learned a lot about PR issues, social media issues, and also how to create posters about Toastmaster guidelines, Toastmaster style, and also we tried to make one poster with this iron and the wall. Sorry, this photo. I didn't find another photo. So next one, we did 170 posts. I can swear you, it's like one annual contract for 1 year, and it will be cost like 4 million tenge. So you can see we invested to our club like 4 million tenge, and we created 37 posts, best of the best, social hour posts, regular meeting posts. 18 posters was created with our PR team. And also we did 7 guest speakers posters, and I don't know what this, I don't know. Yeah. So we got like 9,000 likes.
I think
So it's a huge work. Please appreciate it and follow us, like our page. Next one is we created new highlights covers, so you can just put them and see what we've done in our club. Also, we changed our templates for best of the best and social out posts. And also we created a new poster. It's like template for our guest speakers. And today we also will have guest speaker. Next one is the website. Please applause to Daniel because it's a huge one. Yeah, I forgot to put his photo here. That's why it just screened off website.
It's okay, it's on the website.
Yes. So, yeah. So next one, we were published in an online magazine. It's an online magazine, The Village. If you forgot, you can just follow the link and read about us. So, and I forgot to say, we are about to create one big PR company. It will be like a job fair conference in June. So it will be concluding company with our PR team, which will help to our members get a good job, and also our members will have some benefits from our club, and that's all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pirgula. You have done quite an impressive job. And the following officer is Vice President of Education, Alisher Timirvanov. I know what I know about Alisher, he is super active, energetic, positive, unstoppable learning machine who has brought a lot of innovations to our club. And leadership is about strategy, competence, and trust for him. He also described it with a phrase, give your best. So give your warm welcome to VP Education, Alisher Timmerman.
Hello dear Toastmasters. Today I'm going to tell you about my main duties as VP Education, about the results we've achieved with the Education Committee, and the future perspectives for the next potential education leader, VP Education. So the main core activities, they include such things as role sign-ups. So the most important thing is just to make sure that every single meeting has all the roles are taken for every single meeting. Second is that all the members have equal attention from me, from the Education Committee, that all the members grow professionally as speakers and as communicators and leaders. The quality of preparation of the speeches is quite high, so that the mentorship program works fairly well. Collaboration between mentors and mentees. Organization of speech contests is the amount of work with the organization committee, make sure that we follow all the international rules. The club distinguished status is achieved, and we're moving towards that direction, which means that we need to achieve particular milestones, complete some projects. Base account management, which includes approval of the documents, of the speeches that we upload, and submission of the rewards to the headquarters. Monitoring the mentorship program, and leading and coordinating the education committee. That's the core of the education practices. What was optional and what was added by me is Almaty Toastmasters point system management. And if the next VP education finds it's really difficult, challenging, I'm more than pleased to help him or her. Some of the results, they include, so I'm going to talk only about those things that are really noticeable, really major things. And those are only 5 things. The first thing is the sign-up process has been radically simplified. So previously we had an education committee, somebody who had to answer the question, when can I sign up for the next role? Now, no need in that. You can just, all the members are supposed to write in the WhatsApp chat, members chat, and so the process has been significantly simplified. The second is transparency, so that following the link VP Education/edu, you can find you can find a folder backend roles, and you can see all the potential backend roles that you can find there, anybody, so that nobody can approach us in the education committee and say, hey, I think somebody gives more speeches, somebody gives fewer speeches. Everything's transparent, so anyone can check it. The next thing is Almaty Toastmasters point system, and it's taken us a while to introduce it, but it hasn't shown significant results yet, but I'm pretty sure it will. So again, basically it works in this way, so that if you'd like to give more speeches, you sign up for non-speaker roles, and then you earn those points that you can exchange for the speaker roles. And finally, WhatsApp chat for role takers, so that the process of collaboration before the meeting is much more simplified. Also, for instance, last-minute changes, if they take place, the Toastmasters or general evaluator can tell the speakers or other role takers what to do. And the chat for potential members, which we have more than 100 of them. The lessons I've learned, lots of lessons learned, lots of skills gained. I've told you so many times, I think, in the previous speech, that I have improved my skills of working with Excel, persuading people, communication, working with, as a leader. But one thing that I've learned for sure is that leadership doesn't have to be sacrificing, so that this is a field to the next leadership team, and make sure that you will challenge yourself to such an extent that you will grow at leadership position. Because let's imagine like you're a family, you're a mother, and you sacrifice yourself for a kid. Well, then at some point your kid realizes that you as a mother cannot serve your kid. And so let's not face it in the future that you grow with the club that you serve. And the second thing is that there are 2 types of leadership: learning leadership and successful leadership. In my case, this term was learning leadership because I was learning all the important facts about Toastmasters. I hope that in the future I will demonstrate really successful leadership, because we will work, in fact, with the team. We will, it will be more of a team play. And finally, the future perspectives for the next VP education should include such things as software. He or she will need to work on improving and automation of the system, so that people will not direct him or her his or her messages, they will just go to the website and enter the data for themselves. Point system will become much more sophisticated, much simpler, but at the same time we'll have a lot more opportunities for all the members. The coordination of like Almaty Toastmasters Mafia, we have so many clubs, we can collaborate, we can have so many projects together. I actually imagine the future of BP education so that they can organize really huge, massive events like TEDx on a weekly basis. Eventually, I hope that one day we'll become profitable and sustainable. These are the kind of objectives that the next BP education can consider. Common projects like we have with so many members conducting their own, is like for example podcasts, they're opening their own clubs, or maybe even starting their own businesses. So all of this can be possible if BP education creates and organizes the work in such a way that people can approach him or her and say, hey, I have such personal and private goals, what can I do inside the club? Professional and personal goals implementation, and this is something that I think is overlooked here, so that members, leadership team can set clear goals. What are we going to achieve in this term? And finally, educational courses. Whether you'd like to study computer science, you'd like to study something about leadership, we can all introduce it and help each other to grow as a big one team. That's it, and I hope the next BP education will do his best or her best, and I'll be there to help and support him. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Alisher. And our following officer is Vice President of Social Events. Julduz was so hesitant to take this role first, but after some time she coped with the challenges very well. She managed to find a cave for each member and unleash their potentials. And Julduz led big and important events with high professionalism and efficiency, demonstrating excellent team building skills. So give you a warm welcome to our BP social events. Good evening, dear Toastmasters and friends.
So my duties are simple. I'm supposed to encourage members of our club to organize events so that they can make our social life more interesting, more vivid, so that it can strengthen the collaboration between us and create this positive and friendly atmosphere. And also I'm responsible for booking the place for the social hours that we usually have after each regular meeting every week. So let me start by explaining you what events we had during this year. There were 3 major events that are organized by the whole leadership team. And they are the Eco Picnic, the anniversary of our club, and the last is the Almaty Toastmasters speech contest. It's actually the great event where our members can demonstrate their skills that they have gained during our meetings. And also there are events that are organized by other members, which are, so there were 4 sport events that we had. We had 2 trips to the mountains. We had the night cycling event. It's when during the whole night we were cycling on the bicycles. And we had few stops where we were just eating, singing songs, having like a karaoke time. And also we had the Shimbolak trip that was organized by ASET. And also we had an entertainment events. One of them was the White Vibes, is the event where we came all in white and we were learning how to dance tango. And there was the movie night that was recently, where we watched a beautiful comedy drama, which the name is Life is Beautiful. Also during my term, we had already for this day 40 social hours, can you imagine? And 4 of them were very special. First one was the speed networking. We decided to create one social hour where people will not only talk to the people who are sitting just near them. We decided to make that extra fun so that we can switch our seats from time to time, so that during 1 or 2 hours you can speak to all of the members of our club. And also we had the Halloween social hour, the Christmas social out, and very special 5 love languages social out organized by Aliyah, where she gave us the test so that we can identify which love language do we speak. So the social out is and the events, it's a great opportunity for you if you want to take that position, vice president social events. And for me, I've learned how to manage different situations, how to like negotiation skills, so that places are always available, so that they can give us the place, even though I cannot like give them the money in advance. Or so it takes a good practice how you can communicate with people so that everything is fine. And also this practice in organizing events and looking for social out places, it helped me not only to gain the leadership skills, but it also helped me to make so many friends here in the club. Because when you're involved in the organization of any event, when you're involved in the organization of any project, it makes you closer, it unites you, and it makes your relationships even stronger. Also, we had, during 40 social outs, we tried to go all the time to the new places, but there were 3 top places that we were going over and over again, and they are Tandur, Kazakhstan Hospital, and Aist. Another great thing during my post is that I have created a social events committee, which consists of 2 people, of our members. It's Anu Sahid and Aygiri Poligraya. We are meeting on a monthly basis, and our meeting has a format of business breakfast. And that's such a great idea that Aliyah gave me to create my own team, because it became even more interesting to work. Because when you have a team, it's more ideas, you have more encouragement to do something new, to think about new ideas. And that team helped me to invent something new. We started to sending the voting for our members so that they can rate the social out place on the next day. So now we are collecting that information. And another thing is that we started to collect the list of possible locations for the events, so that next time when the members comes to me and says that he wants to organize an event, I will have the list of possible locations so that it will be easier for him to choose. What the things that will be done after? There, in April, at the end of April, we are going to organize a Bollywood party. Also, there are spots for other events, so if you are interested, members, you can come up to me and we can discuss. And also, we'll work more on our database with the rankings of the social outs. And I would like to say that, yes, at first I was very hesitant actually to take that role, because I was very new to the club, I just came. And now I'm so glad that I took that opportunity and that I was leading that role, because I learned so many things. I became more confident, I have developed my leadership skills, and I'm not seeing only these results in the relationship with members in the club, but it also has its own results. For example, like I was telling it on the last week that I was thinking about changing my job, and I went to an interview to a LG company. And after an interview, I mostly talk about my experience in Toastmasters. I was telling them, I have leadership skills, and I was giving examples by the work that I have done here. I was giving them, explaining everything in details, and they really liked it. And actually, I got a job now. Yeah. So I see the tangible results not only in the community but even outside the community. So I really encourage you, the new members or maybe the current members, that on May we're going to have the elections so that you can apply for that position and enjoy the results. Thank you. Okay. We also wanted to say thanks to 2 people who are actually organizing events, but I don't know are they here or not, but let me see. We wanted to award the certificate of appreciation for Ayan Aldabirgenov for organizing an event, the mountain trip. Is he here? No. And another certificate is for dear Murat, who has organized this night cycling event where we were cycling all night. Is he here? No? Okay, I will give them later.
Thank you so much, Yıldız. And now it's time to have Q&A session. If you have any questions to our vice presidents, please feel free to ask. Okay. Do we have any questions from Facebook Live video streaming? No? No questions? Everything's clear? Okay, if you don't have any questions, then...
Maybe we can ask the audience, like which position is like they're mostly interested in. So far they heard about 4 positions, so is any...
Okay, are you interested in any of these positions that we've just presented? Okay, my question to you then is going to be, who is your role model in being a true leader? So you can give 1 or 2 minutes talk and come up to the stage. Easy. Okay, please come up. What is your name? My name is Ziggy. Nice to meet you. So I have 2 minutes?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
It's easy. Baizakov is the greatest leader. He's been ahead of our country for 30 years. And he's still ruling it. Like, nobody has a doubt because he's still... Like, there's a joke that he gave Tokayev the car without the... forgot the word.
Steering wheel.
Yeah, thank you. And he said, like, hey, how am I going to do it? And it's like, don't worry. You just press the pedal. I'm gonna do the rest. Yeah, I think that he is the greatest leader because he did what we have today in our country for 30 years. Like I'm 30 years, and I can see the tremendous change that happened. He sent very bright students to go and study wherever they want, in any part of the country, like Canada, US, Australia, Russia, and learn anything they want, from computer science to medicine. And those people came back and now they're thriving here and making our lives better. Excuse me, what did you mean?
It's a timer.
Time, okay.
Oh, we've got 30
See,
seconds.
it's my first time, so I don't know how this works yet. What else? I don't know. He's always, when he presents, like when you listen to him, like it's really nice to listen to him, right? Like, and he says all the truth. Like if his people did the poor job, he says like, okay guys, you did the poor job, and you understand that. Is that it?
That's it.
Yep. Thank you.
Now we are going to have a speech from Leadership Excellence Series presented by Gauhar Kabinova. She's our former Vice President of Membership. And Gauhar has her own way of leadership. And it's about being flexible, supportive, creative and positive. She has a great communication skills and very good sense of humor, and I really appreciate your support, dedication and contribution to our club. Let's welcome to the stage Gauhar Kabinova.
Thank you so much. Hello everyone. I shall already explain like a little about what I'm going to do here and why I'm taking attention from all these leadership team reports, because actually, you know, when you become a leader, you don't only need like to know what kind of lists and tasks you need to perform, but also you need to know how to be a leader, because you need to be like a respected one, trusted one, and you need to be a leader like 24 hours per day, and there are no weekends, there are nothing. which can help you, I don't know, from not being a leader. So actually, when you become a leader, you need to know how to handle all the situations which can happen throughout your job. So actually, those members who joined our club, not like recently, but a long time ago, they know that we have like a traditional program. And actually, apart from our CC manuals, we also have 2 manuals, which are the best speaker series and the leadership excellence series. So actually, both of them are focused and help you how to become a better speaker and also how to become a good leader. So actually there are like 10 projects in each of these manuals, and among of these 10 projects I decided to choose resolving conflict, because actually I can say that we are all here, there are a lot of people, we are all always different, and not speeches, but I think conflicts are like the most usual and the most common things which happen in our club. And I think it's good sometimes because conflict actually is not like only when people, I don't know, discussing and arguing about something, but actually if there are respected adults, conflict can lead like to very positive changes, to a lot of improvements. So actually it's kind of a very nice way, I think, to find something new and to know each other also better. So that's why I decided to choose this topic, but actually I know that maybe like not all, maybe all of you, but most of you know me as like a very always smiling, always like very positive and very kind person. And maybe you can say like I didn't have any conflicts in this club, and maybe why like I'm speaking about a topic which like never happened to me, but actually I can say that if you think in that way, it's like there are only 2 ways. Maybe you just like you haven't been paying a lot of attention to that, or maybe I just like resolved all these conflicts so good that you couldn't even see that it was like a conflict in the first place. So actually, I know that sometimes, for example, people can be like very positive, very kind, and very. Actually, in our club, I think all of us are like always very positive, and we're always trying to meet people, to greet people with a very respectful manner. But actually, it's not always what happens in our club, because people have like a lot of perceptions, a lot of, I don't know, different ideas, different things, how they see the things which need to be in our club. So actually, it's kind of sometimes it can lead like to different situations. So I can also like share with you some experience when I was a part of the leadership team, because I was, as Aisha mentioned, I was a vice president of membership last year. And actually when I was a VP of membership, we actually faced a lot of things, and it helped us. And I can maybe share with you during my presentation, only not like, I don't know, some things, but also some experience which I faced. So let me quickly just go through what is really the conflict is. So it's what you get when 2 or more people have differences, real or perceived, that are not resolved. And what we do, we always try to resolve the conflict. And so conflict resolution is what we do to identify and address conflict in a mature and respectful way. We are here always volunteers. We do not earn any money. We are not here like, I don't know, in some, not like, it's not a big company, it's like a big organization, but it's a non-profit organization. So usually people just come here, I don't know, to meet their personal interests, to find new friends, and also to grow and improve as leaders. And actually sometimes it can happen that people take for granted some things which others trying to do for them. And actually this is the problem where we face the situations when, I don't know, sometimes we can arise some conflicts. So actually, why conflicts can happen? So first of all, it's contentious personalities. So actually, I'm here like for 3 years, I think, in this club, and during these 3 years, I've met a lot of people. And actually, some of them, even when they came to this club, they maybe even they knew that this is like a global organization, we are like a part of non-profit organization. They always wanted to change like sometimes the perception of our club. I even, you know, sometimes received, I don't know, messages or calls like from people asking if this is like an English club, or like do we have, I don't know, some vacancies, and can they become like English teachers, and can they earn money here? So actually we are always trying to explain them that this is not an English club, this is not like, this is not the place where we teach or we learn, for example, English lessons or I don't know, wherever. Sometimes people just like want to make Toastmasters a little maybe bit different, I don't know, to change the structure of the program, or I don't know, sometimes even maybe see any other programs. So actually it doesn't work here, because we are a part of organization, and we are here because we are like this, and not like one individual can change our club. But actually it's not bad that people, I don't know, sometimes want to maybe change our direction of our club, or maybe our goals, our values, or our mission. But actually sometimes people maybe just like see, I don't know, another ideas how to improve our club, because maybe sometimes they think that it's like we need to go to the next level. And that's why I think we had like a lot of people, different people, and most of them, for example, because we are not like maybe here an English club, so for example, Aliya, she opened her own language mixer club where you can learn English and as well as many other languages. Akikat, for example, he always told us that we should not here only speak, but we also should learn how to speak. And actually, that's why maybe it's like one of the, I think, best examples of how to resolve the conflict. He opened his own filmmakers club, where people are trying like to speak and like to respect each other. It's like a very respectful debate, I can say. For example, Ilyas, he always wanted, I don't know, to make us a little bit profitable and maybe to earn some money here. So he decided to open his own orator club. So it means that conflicts like sometimes are very good, and people can, I don't know, develop and do something even more, even better. I don't know. It depends on the people, what they are looking for. So actually it's not like always bad when people are having like different personalities, because it's like kind of very complex and I think complicated matter, and we always have different kind of problems, and sometimes, you know, personalities can be, like people are different, and we are not always, we do not always like each other, for example. Yes, some people just like don't like each other at all. But we are still in one club because we need to be in one club, and there are always, I don't know, I think some personalities can be like annoying or, I don't know, very hard to work with. And actually sometimes I think we also face this kind of people, but still we are trying to change them. And maybe, I hope that like the community, as a community, we mostly change them rather than they change us. So I think like it's very good like to work with people, to see how different people are, and then like to try to find like any compromise among you. So another type of conflict can be misunderstanding. I think it's kind of when people do not know like all the facts, and sometimes they're trying, I don't know, to make a conflict, and so actually it's only like because people don't know everything, for example, about the issue, about the problem, and sometimes you just need to tell them like the whole history behind which happened and everything. So sometimes even it can be, can be an issue. Another is issues, actually, because in different situations people have different expectations, and sometimes like in some situations you want to have like another result, but people, but in the end you have another one. So sometimes it can be issues, but actually usually if you have like, if you are heading on one way, then I think it can be solved. And the fourth one is style of leadership. Actually this one I think we know that there are different kinds of leadership, different styles of leadership, and actually some people can be like very democratic ones, some can be like very forceful ones, powerful ones. So it can be different, but actually I do remember when we just like became a leadership team, because previously, if you know like a little bit history of our club, so like Tom was the president of our club like for some years, and actually like in 2017, so Aliya became like the president after Tom. It was like the first female president in our club, and actually it was like the first president after Tom. And we all know how like we are always respectful towards Tom. And when we like came to new leadership team, it was like not only Aliya, but there were like with Tom, it was Greg, Bigzot, Yedekar, like all founding members, and all of them were like, I don't know, very respected and very trusted people. And then like came we were, I don't know, it was like Lyaska, Kima, Manon, we were like even less than a year in this club, and when we came like as a new leadership team, actually a lot of people started to complain and to like say so many things towards us. So it was, I don't know, sometimes I didn't even, I don't know, find time to sleep, because actually I like received a lot of messages when people texting me like how to, I don't know, be like vice president of membership in that way or in that way. And actually in the beginning it was kind of very stressful for all of us. We were like a new team. We were very stressed because we faced like so many, how to say, it was like not bad that people gave us a lot of ideas for improvement, but actually sometimes I think when the leaders are changing, it can be like people, when people see that the leaders are changing, they also want to see, I don't know, some other ways to be changed. So actually we, in the end, I think resolved all the situations, and actually I think after that it was like a golden rule of our club. So for example, if you suggest something, you need to implement that. It was like a golden rule after our, because we faced like a lot of suggestions. People were like, I don't know, suggesting like so many ideas, and in the end I was like, oh my god, I'm not gonna do that, because actually most of them are like not appropriate to our club, and if you just like want to implement them, then you need also to take the lead of this. So if you want to be something to be changed, if you need something to be changed, then you need to do something for it, because actually it's not like, it's very easy to say people that this one I think is not going like that way, I want that this way to be like changed, so it's kind of very easy to say, but actually it's always very hard to implement. So that's why people sometimes, I don't know, just like when they implement, when we say that you need also to implement them, then I think sometimes conflicts are just disappears. So what we can do to resolve the conflict? Sometimes we can just like ignore it, because I don't know, sometimes some issues are not so big and they're like very small, and sometimes like the best way is just like to ignore it, and maybe like, I don't know, this the people who are like starting the conflict, they can just even forget about it. So sometimes it's really good, but not always, because sometimes like the people who started this conflict, it just like it festers their feelings. Another thing is smooth it over. It's good when the problem which I don't know sometimes started, it's like it's important for them more than it's important for our club. So actually it's not like always the way how we can go it. Then force. Sometimes I don't know, force is good when you do like quick decisions. For example, you need to do something, and for example, Aisha or whatever, like who is the president or I don't know who is the leader, he can like just say, we will do this way, and that's it. Because there is no time to, I don't know, to solve the problem, to discuss it, I don't know, to analyze it. But it's good only when it's like quick decisions, but usually it's not like the way how we do in this club. Then compromise. When you do compromising, actually it means that both parties are losing something. And sometimes when people are losing, they are not satisfying, and actually it can be also, it can lead to the future problems. And I think the best one is like collaboration, because actually how to, when you try to involve all the parties and give them the opportunity to speak, give them opportunity to listen, actually it's very nice way to resolve really the conflict. So what we can do to facilitate collaborations? First, we need to find the root cause, because sometimes all this, I don't know, some ideas, some things, or I don't know, some even symptoms can mask like the real problem. So first you need just like to find the real problem, what is the root cause of the problem. Then you need to allow all parties to speak. You should not interrupt them, you should not ask like any questions, you should just like give them a moment to speak. After they were speaking, you should not also allow any emotions to consume your interactions, because actually emotions are always very bad, and we all know that when you put emotions into something, it's always like people start to feel everything like very personally, and sometimes it can even like lead to the problems that I don't know, people will see everything like in their personal way. So we always need to be respectful, we need always to be thoughtful to everyone, because actually we are all here, yes, we are all adults, we are all trying to respect each other, but sometimes people do not see like the difference, how to be respected to everyone, because as we always say, yeah, you need to be to others how they want to be acted or how they want to be felt by each other. So actually this is like a very main problem, and actually we need to stay away from blame. So for example, if you find the problem, who started this problem, but you should not blame him or her, I don't know, for starting this problem, because sometimes people can do it even like in a very, with really positive emotions, with really positive goals, so you should not blame, just like should try to fix the problem. So also we need like to encourage all parties to listen, because it's really very helpful to listen to each other. That's why we are always speaking here, and like someone is speaking and someone is listening, because listening is like, I think, the main talent which leaders should have, because actually listening is a very important thing, and sometimes we do not listen people, and I do remember Asil gave a speech about listening to each other, because sometimes even when you, I don't know, stay calm and people are thinking that you are listening, actually you are thinking about anything else, and you are even thinking about how you will, I don't know, say other words, or I don't know how to turn this problem to another stage. But actually it's very good to listen to each other, so that's why, I don't know, I think we are always here trying to listen to each other and not interrupting. Also, you need to identify areas of disagreement, so what kind of areas you had, and you need to just like to take all of them, because there you will identify areas of agreement. So what kind of problems, because for example you can have like one goal, one, I don't know, one perception, you can have one values, but like your disagreements are not so important as the main goal which you have. And also you need to search for solutions, so you can, I don't know, maybe like both of you, like can be like even brainstorming method, that you will be like all of you giving like some ideas how you can resolve the situation. So actually there you can see like for every step which you proposed, you can see like the positive and negative aspects, and after like searching through all of them, you can find like the best solution which can be better like for you and for the other side. So I think the brainstorming method is like the very best one, because you just like need to know the ideas, what can be like the best ideas, because usually how we do this in our teams, not only like in leadership teams, during like our leadership, for example, every vice president have their own team, and actually even in these teams can be like a lot of conflicts. So actually it's always good when we gather all together and trying to brainstorm all the ideas. So I think this is like the best one, and you need to, as I already said, evaluate the positive and negative aspects of each area, and then you can find like the best solution, because like which has like the most positive aspects and the less negative aspects. So actually, yeah, the one thing, a leader must resolve conflict, because even like in our some chats, there can be like a very maybe small, but still, I don't know, some conflicts. People hear something, then they, I don't know, see everything like in another perception. So actually, we're always trying to resolve these conflicts, because we are always here to be supportive to each other, always try to respect each other. And actually, it's like we need to create the atmosphere where everyone wants to be. And I think we've perfectly done it throughout, like, I don't remember how many years, because actually I think Tom started this club in 2008, so actually it's like 11 years of our club is growing, and we have a lot of people. We never had so many people as we have now, so I think it's like every person brings something individual to this club, and actually we always try to respect each other, and we always try to find another best solution that can help to our club to grow and to develop. So that's it. Thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you so much, Gohar, for raising such an important and useful topic for our club members. And the following officer is our mentorship director, Tom Barkowski. Being a club founder, he always stays very humble and modest, despite all the things that he has been doing to our club and its members. He takes care of most of our club members and makes sure that Toastmasters does not interfere with our personal lives. He leads by his own brilliant example of wise, kind, and open-minded leader. He has helped me a lot to grow as a leader, and he believed in me to become Vice President of Education first, then the club president. For Tom, leadership is helping others accomplish great things. So give you a warm welcome to our mentorship director, Tom Baizakov.
So the first question I want to ask, why do we have mentorship? Why is it important? Because we can learn from the experiences of other people. We don't need to make mistakes ourselves. When we do this, we can save time, and we can also be more effective in doing what we want to do. Mentorship helps us in all areas. The other reason mentorship is important is because it helps us do our best. So a year ago, my mentee, Vlad, was the Central Asia Best Speaker. This year, it's Danyar was the winner of the Central Asia contest, and his mentor was his wife, Janar. So behind every great man stands a great woman. She does a great job mentoring him. And as well, when people, whether they're the best evaluator, the best table topic, it's because someone's mentoring them or helping them. And when Danyar went and Saeed went and did very well at the contest, it's because our club as a family went behind them to support them. Several of us traveled up there to encourage them, to give feedback. I was supposed to give feedback on the train. Unfortunately, I missed the train. But that's a story for another day. So mentoring also imparts power. Some people think you become a great speaker or a great leader by being bitten by a radioactive spider. Well, usually if you get bitten by a radioactive spider, you die. But mentoring helps to give people feedback, help to encourage them, to believe in them, so they become better speakers, better leaders. And also mentoring, as Aisha just said, helps raise up the next generation. Alia was president after me, helped her, then she poured into Aisha and other leaders. And right now, one of my mentees is Saeed, who was one of our representatives up in Astana. And I have great visions for you in the future, Saeed, because you're a great speaker. Every time he's been at our club, he's always been best speaker. Not because of his mentor, just because he's got great natural talent and he takes risks. So the delicate balance of mentoring is not creating someone in your own image. Right? We're creating the image of God, but we're not supposed to be gods and try and create people in our own image. The idea is to help people be a better version of themselves, to help them create themselves and who they want to be. And so when we do that, sometimes we assign mentors to people for different things. This is Gauhar, you just heard her speak. And as you heard different people speak, they've developed their skills in lots of different ways. But when she wanted to do storytelling, she found a different mentor. And that was Anas. She went to Anas and realized that he's very good at telling stories, good at using humor, and asked for his input. So when you get a mentor in our club, it doesn't mean you're stuck with that mentor. It means you can seek other mentors for specific projects. And as well, mentoring doesn't take place just for speeches, but for special occasions. When Ali Sher helped organize the Women's Day event, he got help from Yernur and Damir and other guys that helped host these events before. You're not left alone to host events, but mentoring is part of our culture, helping people to improve their skills. Plus, mentoring is simply fun. You laugh a lot with your mentors, mentees, and as you heard from Juldiz, as she took on the task of running the contest, you grow in your leadership skills. It can lead to personal growth and lead to new job opportunities. So what do mentors do to new members in our club? They help you learn the new program. In the past it was Company Communicator, now it's the Pathways program. They help you learn the club standards and customs. How do we do things? Why do we do them? We help you develop confidence. So I go around when there's table topics and I encourage people, get up there, volunteer, do table topics. Probably a lot of you remember that, but I've seen people grow as they've taken that first step, and you push people a little bit. And they help you in all types of club activities. You heard about social events, you heard about talent talks from our memberships, and also, of course, helping you with your public speaking skills. One of the things that I need to do a better job at as mentorship director is making sure that our experienced speakers are following these protocols. If you're a mentee, you should approach your mentor when it's time for you to give a speech, not wait for them to come to you. You should explain what your goals are in your speech, not just the project goals, but explain, I want to grow in my vocal variety. I want to use better gestures. I want to have a better intro. So you need to communicate that to your mentor. Take the initiative as a mentee. And this is the third point. We voted on this, we approved it as a club, but we haven't been enforcing it. We want to start enforcing it. If you don't send an outline of your speech 1 week before your speech to your mentor, we will hunt you down. No, we won't do that. But your speech will be postponed, because it's not fair to the audience that if you do not prepare well. And lastly, if you want to run for a club officer, all of our former officers have helped mentor new officers. But this year, the Astana Toastmasters Club has organized an officers training, bringing Toastmasters members from all over Kazakhstan. They have a budget to pay for your travel to Astana, and as well as for your expenses while you're in Astana. So if you become an officer this year, you're going to be a part of this new officers training and have an opportunity to take part in that. So what is our goal in mentorship, in our club? It's to create a dynamic, positive, enriching feedback culture that offers continuous improvement in all areas of our club. So that's our goal moving forward. And you can read this on your own. This is the kind of difference that a mentor can make in a mentee's life. Turn it back.
And our next officer is immediate past president Aliya Shaykhina. She sees potential in people and help them to grow as leaders by helping, supporting, inspiring, and challenging them. So I wouldn't have been in a leadership team if she didn't offer me to apply for the position of a secretary and then for the position of president. And I think she is a true leader who sets the vision for our club and who has developed our club to its high state of excellence. So leadership for Aliya is about service, setting a good example, rising by lifting others. So join me in welcoming immediate past president Aliya Shaykhina.
Thank you very much, Aisha. So, past immediate president, I often get jokes about the fact that it's really, you don't do much. Akikat is not here, but he's the member who enjoys saying that. Well, officially, as in any organization, institutional memory is very important. So there is a role every year that the president of the previous term remains in the leadership team and remains as a resource for the members of the leadership team and the members of the club for any questions, past experiences, any Toastmasters International rules, and somebody who has seen it all. So somebody who could provide guidance as well as chair the nominating committees. We're the club that is based on democratic votes of its membership, so everybody who gets elected by the membership, and there is a nomination committee that works very well towards recruiting the members who could be potential leaders in the future. So that's the job of the past immediate president as well, and something that Aisha is automatically stepping into. You're not elected, obviously, as a past immediate president. And also, any club or any organization or any human being, if in school we wouldn't receive grades, we probably wouldn't be as disciplined, right? So as a club, as an organization, we have to have a success plan that we have to stick to, and we have to make sure we achieve those goals. And one of them is to develop a club success plan ourselves and also follow the Toastmasters International Distinguished Club program requirements, but that has been mentioned a little bit, but I'll get there a little bit later as well. So my job this year as well was, and past immediate president can take on additional responsibilities if they want to, and I felt that there was a need for us, those of you who are members, you are probably on two education tracks. Either you are in pathways or you're still on the old, as we say, advanced communicator track. So are there any members who are doing the advanced communicator leadership tracks? Because I'm not going to stop in detail. Okay, so there are four members, including me, 5 members. We have about 19 members right now who are qualified to do this track and receive Distinguished Toastmaster Award, which is the highest award a member can receive in the club. And I try to simplify what we have as your achievement record. I'm not going to go into the detail, but those of you who are on that track, please make sure you get the copy of membership achievement record, so you can check yourself where you stand, because I think it's very important for us to promote, and well, we're supposed to promote our members following the club, personal growth, and your personal growth is the club success as well. So Advanced Communication Award and Advanced Leadership Awards are divided into 3, bronze, silver, and gold. And for the bronze, to qualify for the bronze, for example, you need to complete 2 advanced manuals, you need to conduct at least 1 communication series presentation. And today, what Gauhar presented to us today was leadership series training. She told you and shared some knowledge she has about the conflict management. It's all prepared in advance, so you have the presentation, you have the materials, basically sharing the knowledge you have learned while you were growing in Toastmasters. Things you've learned are part of these trainings. And to get an Advanced Leadership Award, you need to serve the bronze one, you need to serve at least 6 months in the leadership team. So for those of you who are members who are still thinking of joining the leadership team, or potential members who will consider that, please make sure you know that you have to serve in order to receive the award. So my job as a past immediate president, as somebody who's helping Alisher, our Vice President of Education, was to make sure we create platform for our members to share the knowledge about public speaking. And also, it's a win-win, they get the credit for training others. So Isaac, those of you who are here, oops, there is a missing E there, but this is International Students Organization, and they have a Leadership Development Day. We've been collaborating since 2016 with them, and 4 of our members, including Jules, Aisha, Nurbol, and Tom, I believe, have conducted a training on public speaking for the students. There was also a huge team from Toastmasters who helped during Google Developers, some of the programmers, the IT specialists, some of you might be in there. Aygul also joined our old crew to conduct, as well as Agirim Bolikbayeva and Shahida, to conduct a training to IT specialists there. We had, sometimes we get invited by universities and they say, could you please train our students? Of course, we're doing that because all of these are free of charge. CAS Fund, this is Girls, Women Development and Leadership Fund. So we've conducted quite a few trainings and workshops throughout this year. The upcoming ones are Technovation Pitch Training. Not going to go into the details of what it is, but there is a team that's going to work on a training for them right here, as well as a Go Viral workshop mid-June. Make sure, by the way, you check out what Go Viral is. It's an amazing networking event. So the reason why these are the Better Speaker series, and if you remember, not going to go through the details, but you pick basically a topic you want to train others about. For example, you want to help them organize their speech or control their fear, and so on and so forth. Successful Club series today, and previously Tom has conducted a mentorship workshop. So Successful Leadership series and Successful Communication series. Basically, you train others how to resolve conflicts, you train others how to improve their management skills, and so on and so forth. So I just wanted to make sure you know what the topics are. And as a club's past immediate president, I have to make sure that our club doesn't stray away too far from the Distinguished Club program and make sure we receive the award. Toastmasters International set up this program so that all the clubs have a standard quality, and they make sure that we follow that members' progress and education, we have membership growth, and that the club leadership is trained, is well equipped to lead the club, and that we communicate very regularly. So that way we help the club remain a strong and dynamic organization, and that's great for the members because we are held accountable. So I'm personally very proud that for 3 years in a row, 2 years in a row, with the team that you've seen today, and you'll still see some of us present to you today, it's easy to say that it's, you're as good as your crew. So it was very easy to achieve the President Distinguished Club Award. We're all set with this current leadership team to achieve it this year as well. And you see, the basic one is Distinguished Club. We've never received it. We went to the Select Distinguished Club from the first year where we started focusing on the program. So we have a major issue right now that we have Pathways members and we have the old track that we have to work on. And I hope that the next past immediate president will also focus on this issue and that we, past immediate president just naturally gravitates. That's what happened to Tom. They naturally gravitate to his education program and assisting our Vice President of Education. That's what's happening to me as well. And continuing creating partnerships and building on and deepening the partnerships that we've created through the years with different organizations. I didn't include the Red Crescent, it's here, Red Crescent and Rotaract, thanks to some personal connections of our Vice President of PR, Agul, and lots of others. I don't think we're setting the time to look into those, some of them regularly. And also just naturally increasing the collaboration we have with some of them, like Technovation and Rotaract are our natural counterparts. And some of the things I always say I've learned, and I just encourage all the members and even the previous leadership team to apply to the leadership roles. You've heard today some great feedback. You learn these principles of respect and integrity and service and excellence. You learn what it is truly to be humble human being. You learn to kill your ego forever and listen to others and resolve conflict. So join the leadership team. Thank you.
And the next officer is our club secretary, Dana Ziadova. I was impressed by the power of unity, love and support in her family when she gave her icebreaker speech. She holds one of the key positions in our club, and she does a lot of work behind the scenes. I admire her ability to stay humble, humane, and appreciative. I know Dana has a huge potential that she can fulfill in Toastmasters and outside of it. So help me welcome our club secretary, Dana.
Okay, good evening, everyone. So when we think of the word secretary, this kind of imagine comes to our mind, right? The person who deals with everything, at the same time in the office. So, but what is the origin of this word, secretary? So, secretary origin of the word is one who is entrusted with a secret or confidences of a superior. That means like, I'm a person who keeps all secret of Toastmasters Club right now. If you want me to share with you, please join us social out, then I will share. So, what is the benefit of being secretary at the Toastmasters Club? The first one, you attend regular meeting like this. So you are informed with all events and all information going on in this club. You also attend monthly leadership team meeting, and you take notes, and you also you write minutes. And the second one is you handle general club correspondence, and also you the secretary maintain membership roster. And one interesting one, you invite guest speakers. So, sorry, just a minute. This is what I did. So the first one is membership attendance sheet. So every regular meeting, I control who is absent or who is duty on today or who is present. And I make a note, and also this is our agenda. You've seen in our social media. So this is my minute that I was taking over there. So I'm actually making notes and I'm putting all these things to our file. So this is the leadership team meeting minutes that I'm taking. And also I'm checking our Gmail, Facebook and Instagram. At the same time, I'm responding to people like you who are interested in joining our club. And also I upload all these documents to our system, and I remind members of leadership team on their responsibilities or duties they are going to do for the next month. And I'm also controlling quorum. For example, when we have a new member, we want to make a quorum so the members can vote if we'd like to accept that new member or not. At the same time, when we have some like new rule or new officer to accept to this club, we also have a quorum to vote if we would like to accept or not. And the most interesting thing is inviting the speakers. So during my position, during my time, we had a great guest speaker who is Luis Albertini. He is a CEO of Redfern Partners, and he talked about creating and developing startup in Kazakhstan. And the second great guest speaker we had was Alena Tkachenko. She is a CAO at Nomi Kazakhstan, hardware startup targeting to the US and the Southeast Asia. She talked about 7 mistakes Kazakhstani startup can make targeting international market, which was really interesting. And later on today we have another great speaker that I will be informing you, presenting you a bit later. And lessons I've learned is, the first one is note-taking. I think it's really important because when you are listening, you should take very fast the notes. And at the same time, I was improving my writing skills. And I was improving my writing of official letters to guest speakers, to other people who are interested in our club. At the same time, I improved my skills representing the speakers in an honorable way to the audience. Nevertheless, that it seems kind of maybe more bureaucratic work, but when you attend leadership team, when you come to regular meeting all the time, you learn many things. As Tom mentioned, and the Gohar mentioned, and Ilya mentioned about being as a leader, what is being as a leader, and destroying and getting off your ego, that also affected to me, because I've learned many things, and I've learned how to be a leader, how to kind of deal hard conversation, not to lose your relationship with that person that you care. So that's what I have. Sorry. So thank you. If you have any questions, I will be around.
Thanks a lot, Dana. And our next officer is the club treasurer, Danyar Abenov. We all know him as a supportive and caring husband and father of his family. He usually gets the award of best impromptu speaker most of the times, and he is a person who keeps a minimalistic and eco lifestyle. He has become a winner of Kazakhstan Toastmasters humorous speech contest this year, and leadership is about combining unique differences. So let's greet our club treasurer, Danyar Abenov.
Good evening, everyone. I will briefly explain what the treasurer does in the club, and then I'll walk through the finance of the club, because I'm sure everybody wants to know what are we exactly paying for, where do the money go, why this guy is wearing the same coat even though he's in charge of all the money, why does he have the same old car. You will know that all the money goes to where it's supposed to be. I'm not pocketing anything, even though I look maybe slightly suspicious. So this is the fee structure of our club. And this is a representative of the kind of a lot of clubs, Toastmaster clubs internationally. Every time we hit a time period, which is the 30th of March and end of September, we have to pay upfront. So we only pay for half a year, or we prorate it depending on the dates. So for all renewing members, the fee is $50, and for the new ones, it's $50 plus $20 setup fee. And it doesn't matter how long you've been in the club, as long as you're in this club, that's the amount we pay. And out of that $50, 45 goes to Toastmasters International. That's the big organization which provides us with all the educational materials. It provides us with the network. If you go to any Toastmaster club anywhere abroad, since you've paid to the big organization, you can participate in any club abroad, take roles, give your speeches, etc., etc. And out of that $50, we only keep 5. That's the Almaty Toastmaster club fee, which we keep in our club for our own expenses. Yeah. So when you pay for your membership, I collect the money. I make sure that the money, the $45, gets sent to Toastmasters International, and then I'm kind of overseeing the $5 that is left. And all of that $5, they come to basically these numbers. So when we started the year, I will send it over $200 from the previous clubs that has accumulated for the past 5 years, and we managed to collect $493. That's the membership fees. We sold some pins, and we also had some leftover money from organizing events that we done, 2 events. So that's thanks to Jules, who instead of buying herself flowers, gave the money back to us. And then we had $300 of expenses. Some of it is assets, so we bought a memory card for our camera. We bought a microphone. Now we need some money probably to train Urbo to start to press record when I'm speaking, because it doesn't always happen if you saw the last speech contest. And then we bought the flag, and some money went to organize the Almaty Toastmaster Club contest, and some money went to buy me ticket to go to Astana so that I could win the Kazakhstan speech contest. And if you're thinking, this is certainly a very Kazakh thing when a treasurer approves to get money to himself to go to Astana to see his relatives. Maybe you're partially right, but next year you get a chance to get your ticket as well if you win the Almaty Toastmaster contest. So it's all open, and I won it fair and square, as you may have seen in the contest. So my other role is to make sure that the money that we have, we actually spend on something that is useful. So as you can see, all the expenses, I think they're all reasonable. We haven't splurged on anything that is unnecessary, even though Aisha proposed that we change the name of the club to Shaykhina Toastmaster International, which would involve that we would have to change the banner and everything else. So I had to say no, let's not do that. Or for example, when Aisha said I want a new iPhone because it will improve my communication skills, I also had to say no, because it's not exactly aligned with our goals. So all the money that we spent is actually here. I have receipts for everything. We run a clear, transparent organization. Unfortunately, you'll not be able to see the receipts because you have to request them through official channels, etc., etc. But the main point is that we now have $383 in the bank. So we started with 200, we bought some stuff, and we still have $383. Most probably we will not spend most of it. So the next year's club treasurer will have more money to play with. Maybe they can organize bigger events and buy better stuff. And one of the other results that I've achieved is one of the goals that we have to become distinguished club is that members pay on time, at least 20 people. We've done that both times. On a couple of occasions I had to pay for other members and they still owe me coffee for that. So hopefully I'll get my coffee and we'll get our distinguished club if we met all the goals. But that's basically it. So the role of treasurer it's a bit administrative, it's very time dependent, it requires precise thinking, but you also get to manage all the money, which is the best place in the house as far as I know, and it gives you a seat at the table. You get to decide basically where we spend the money, and you get to be involved with the broader mission of the leadership team, etc. So apply for the role. It's easy, doesn't take much time, and it's fun. Thank you.
On behalf of our club, I would like to congratulate the winners of Kazakhstan Toastmasters Humorous Speech Contest, Daniel Arbenov and Sayed Muzamil Sadat. Could you please come up to the stage? You really made us proud, getting 3 awards out of 4. Please accept our joint prize for it. Go hard. Could you please show it to the audience?
You can guys say one way from
What do you look so many cameras?
Make some sounds, please.
Since you guys didn't win, unfortunately you can't eat the cake. You can find us there.
Hopefully you can also taste it after the meeting. Okay, thank you. And our next officer is Surgeon at Arms, Nurbo Nurmakhanova. I know Nurbo as an ambitious, brave and responsible person. Nurbo is not afraid of taking risks and facing challenges. He is young but very promising person, and I'm sure that one day he will surprise us by fulfilling the truest version of himself. So give you a warm welcome to our Surgeon at Arms, Nurbo Nurmakhanova.
Hello everyone, I am Nurbol and I'm a Surgeon at Arms of our wonderful club. So how do you think, what does it mean Surgeon at Arms and who is a Surgeon at Arms? Any ideas? So when I just first time met with these words, I either didn't understand what does it mean. And I was inducted to this position with the help of Shahida. She was a previous surgeon at arms, and I asked, what should I do? So she said that you are responsible for whole staff organizing the meeting. So now I said, really? So I am a Barkil Shauki? Oh yeah, okay, but my expectation was different. My expectation was that I'm a Barkil Shauki, but I thought this, but actually this is not what is this really. And who's a surgeon at arms? Surgeon at arms is a person whose job is to make sure that everything is well organized and well prepared for the meeting, and he is responsible for the whole these stuff. And who have watched 001 James Bond? About James Bond. Who knows James Bond? Please raise your hands. Yeah, you know James Bond. Who's Q? Do you know this person? Who's Q? Okay.
He provides equipment.
Oh yeah. This is this guy who's a Q. Without him, is James Bond. Is not James Bond. It's true. And I'm a N in Toastmaster, and I am Q like him. Yeah. Without me, the Toastmaster is always have a problem with organizing the room. So next, so what is the main responsibilities of Surgeon at Arms? So I'm responsible for managing club property, and it means that I'm responsible for providing high quality meetings, organizing all this organization, all this room, and greeting hospital in warm atmosphere. Even I'm not in good mood, I have to smile and meet guests and just greet them and invite to our club. But otherwise, and after, it will be your behavior, like it will be get into habit, and you're always happy about life. And what I have done in Toastmaster Club just in 3 months. So what first thing was online voting updates with the help of with the advice of recommendation of Yurnur. We just updated our voting system, and now everyone can vote. Our speakers and evaluators, and after they can have their feedback. So we just send to each speaker, and they know what kind of things they have achieved, and also property optimization, and also video record. As you saw me, video recording. And this is Agnes. He's one of our best speakers, and
they voted around 30 persons, and he just got 28.5. Just realized he's the best, one of the best speakers of our club. And see at the bottom there are many comments, and read, and they also can see their achievements. So well done, good job, Agnes. You are just amazing. But unfortunately, he's not here. And also next, we all the time, in order to prosper our community, we always have feedback from guests and fellow members. So here's a list of comments about our meeting. I didn't choose just the best one. This is really our meeting. And this is why you should take this role. Yeah, first of all, what I thought, I was you heard that I was a guy who always do the same things. But after for a while, I realized that it helps you to develop your organization skills, communication skills, and you always easygoing with people. You do not hesitate to ask someone, and you learn how to delegate your maybe position, or ask someone to replace you, and etc. And as Tom said, there is a business trip. You can use this kind of opportunity and go and travel and meet other interesting people. And also, even for example, you are in leadership team who are very well experienced leaders from whom you can learn and just ask them how to be a leader, how to improve your speaking skills. And first time I was just very shy and speaking publicly, and they just helped me to be confident. And now, as you see, even my English is not well, I just can do anything in front of the audience. And also taking initiative and to be helpful to the organization, and this is the whole things which you learn from being Sözün Terms. Thank you.
Okay. Several years ago, I had no idea what leadership was. So I was curious to learn about it and attended International Summer School of Leadership organized by Isaac. There I learned that one of the ingredients of leadership is public speaking, which in turn led me to Toastmasters. So let's go into the details of club president's work. The main responsibilities of club president are preside over regular business and leadership team meetings, earn distinguished club award, conduct new members, induction with VP membership, and lead and guide leadership team and club members, create learning and friendly environment. Apart from regular meetings that we have every Wednesday, there are different activities that are all indicated in a log book. This is just a small part of it. So from July 1st, 2018, up to this moment, there were more than 40 regular meetings, 13 social outs, including special social events, including special social outs, and around 10 workshops, 7 guest speakers. So our major club achievements are that we celebrated the 5th anniversary of our club, and we met 9 goals out of 10 on President's Distinguished Club Award. 3 awards were taken at Kazakhstan Toastmasters Humor Speech Contest by 2 of our members, and the education system has become online. And from May 2018, we started Pathways program, and around 70% of our members are progressing on that. So our more experienced Toastmasters have started sharing. Here you can see the status of distinguished of getting Distinguished Club Award. And more experienced Toastmasters have shared their knowledge on public speaking and leadership, providing different workshops for general public. And while our talented club members conducted practical talent talks. This year we also had workshops for PR and leadership teams on SMM and team management. Those workshops were really inspiring, insightful, and interactive. After gaining enough knowledge, organizational and leadership skills, some of our club members have opened their own clubs, and here you can see some bright examples of them. We all like social outs, and this term has been quite full of fun. And there were hikings, active sport events, social outs, traditional events. Also, for the first time, we had humorous speech contest. And these events can be described as impactful, memorable, soulful, and delightful. This year, our club secretary shared the responsibility with Vice President of Public Relations to invite guest speakers, and they were from sport, media, and startup fields. So the guest speakers raised very fascinating, insightful, and motivational topics. So we have new highlights at social media, and everything now looks much clearer and even more professional. We have developing partnerships with American Space, Technovation, Tehran University, and Rotaract Almaty. Here also you can see the venues where we usually conduct our workshops and some of our partners that we had at ECA. Our club has become more eco-friendly by having online voting system and a digital agenda. Now we have a new flag, website, and more videos from events and meetings. Due to the new educational program called Pathways and continuing and fruitful mentorship, and new clubs opened by our club members, I think that there are a lot of opportunities now for growth and further development. And our clubs for the rest of the term is to have a guest speaker and a joint social out with Rotaract on April 24th. Also, we are going to have Technovation speech training on April 28th and public speaking training at Go Viral, and the HR conference in June, July. We're going to have more talent talks, continuous spotlight series, and solidify partnerships further. So I would like to express my profound gratitude to the whole leadership team and club members for their dedication, contribution, and for their hard work. So, being a club president, I've learned that leadership is more than I thought. And it's about service, courage, inner power, and facing difficulties with dignity. And it's about responsibility, vision, firmness, integrity, service, and other things. So there are a lot of things still left to learn and develop. So if you are willing to serve to our club, keeping its values, jump into our ship called leadership. Thank you. And all of this, we haven't finished yet. Yeah, all of these things have been done by our club members, and one of them missed the award ceremony during our club birthday, and now I would like to present this certificate of appreciation to Agirim Brikbaeva for taking part in organizing Eco Picnic and workshop for Google Development Fest participants. Here it is. Can we have maybe this is for you as well? Thank you so much. Now we are going to have a long-awaited guest speaker invited by Tom Barkowski. And in order to introduce him, let me invite to the stage our club secretary, Dana Ziebek.
Hi again. So today it's a really honor for me to represent this great guest speaker whose name is Don Brugger. Don Brugger was a career officer in the US Army for 23 years. After he left the Army, he worked for various employer managing information technology projects. His last position was a deputy director, information service at Colorado School of Mine in Golden, Colorado. During the period of 1980 through 1983, he owned and operated a retail computer store in Oak Ridge, Tennessee, selling personal computers and associated hardware and software. He has a Master of Business Administration degree from Long Island University, in addition to his master's degree in physics from the University of Colorado. His last assignment in the Army was Associated Professor of Physics at the US Military Academy. And today he is going to talk about surviving in a business. Please help me welcome.
My name is Don Brugger. I hope you can all hear me. I was expected to present a topic of how businesses survive, and I'm wondering how many of you are interested in going into business. You ready? Oh, okay. Well, whether or not you're really interested in going into business, I think you'll be interested in my topic because I'm going to shorten it down in the interest of time because I know that you want to go to the social hour. Maybe the winners of the cake here can share it. But I was prepared to talk about 3 different topics on 12 slides, but I'm going to narrow it down to my last topic and just 1 slide. Let's see, is this good? But I got to get all the way to the last. This one. The topic is in how businesses survive. One of them is knowing your market. Basically, who are your customers and what do they want? And how do I satisfy that? And how do I do it better than my competition? Okay, and I'm going to use as an example, because I think you'll find it interesting whether or not you're interested in business. But this is the product Coca-Cola. How many of you are familiar with Coca-Cola? Okay. Their major competitor is Pepsi. Pepsi-Cola. How many of you are familiar with Pepsi? Let me ask you this. How many of you prefer Coca-Cola over Pepsi?
Pepsi maybe is the best.
I'm sorry?
For my opinion, Pepsi is good. No.
He's a Pepsi man, I guess.
I like Cola.
Okay, okay. Well, the story is about how they made a horrible decision and almost went out of business. And a little bit about Coca-Cola. They started in 1885 when they first introduced their product. And the name Coca-Cola infers what's in it. If you look at the can or a bottle of Coke, you'll see that it's got water, a corn syrup or a sweetener, caramel coloring, some phosphate compound that's supposed to be a preservative, caffeine, and that comes from the name in the cola, part of their name is the cola bean, or the source of the caffeine. So we know there's caffeine in it, but then they have one other product, ingredient called natural flavors. Well, that's what makes it distinctive, different from everything else. What's in it? That's a trade secret. That's another one of my topics, but that's a trade secret. Nobody knows what is really in it. And Coca-Cola, the company, is located in Atlanta, Georgia, and that's all they make is just the syrup, that natural flavoring. And it goes to bottling companies, independent bottling companies all over the world. And all they do is put the other stuff and the syrup in the bottle and then distribute it to the marketplace to be sold. In 1985, 100 years after they started, and they kept this ingredient secret all this time, they decided to go head to head, like goats, against Pepsi and win over as many Pepsi drinkers as they could. And they introduced a new product called New Coke, new formulation, and it was supposed to attract the Pepsi drinkers over there. And it tasted a lot like Pepsi. Now, I'm an avid Coke drinker. And to me, this tasted an awful lot like Pepsi. And my reaction and everybody else's reaction was, if I wanted a Pepsi, I'd buy a Pepsi. But for the first month, the sales of New Coke went really well because there was a lot of interest. What's in it? What is it? What's it taste like? So the Pepsi drinkers were trying it. The traditional Coke drinkers were trying it. And the traditional Coke drinkers said, this tastes like Pepsi. Well, the mistake they made was at the same time, they discontinued the traditional and stopped giving it to the bottling companies and just New Coke. And it took about 1 month for the feedback to come back. The traditional Coke drinkers were really upset and stopped buying the Coke product. So their sales went up, and then all of a sudden, and they realized their mistake, so they reintroduced their traditional formula and called it Coke Classic. Now you had New Coke and Coke Classic, and their sales continued to fall and fall. It took them 7 years to finally realize this was a big mistake. And so they dropped the New Coke and took the Coke Classic and relabeled it back to Coca-Cola. Okay? The whole point is they lost sight of who their customers were and didn't satisfy them, and they abandoned the company. So they almost went broke before they got this straightened out. So now we've got my favorite back, and we don't have to worry about that New Coke stuff. But here's the point in my talk where I would summarize everything, but you haven't heard the rest of all the things that you can do in a business to lose it. And you're trying to overcome the competitors. Protect your product, know your business, so when technology changes, what do you do? Maybe you can improve your product, or if you don't, the marketplace is going to run right by you. So anyway, I'd open up the floor for questions, but I think you're in a hurry to get to the social hour, right? Maybe get that cake. Right? So that was my talk. Thank you.
And now it is time to invite our timer to the stage and will provide his report.
First of all, thank you for your speeches. I certainly didn't expect there to be so many speeches today when someone encouraged me to take timer's role today. And I certainly felt like a villain, when I showed the red card, and a person so in positives, he or she is telling their results, and of course they want to share them. Well, only Dana, Danyar, and Tom, and Don. They all made it through all time constraints. Well, let's go chronologically, just very quick. Jansaya 6 minutes 35 seconds, Alisher Timirvanov 6 minutes, Aygul Kasımova 6 minutes 35 seconds, Jolda Samanjova 6 minutes 57 seconds, Gauhar Kabinova 19 minutes 35 seconds, Tom 5 minutes 23 seconds, Aliya Shahina 19 minutes 57 seconds, Dana Ziabekova 4 minutes 57, Danyar Abenov 5 minutes 10 seconds, Nurbon Nurmahanova 6 minutes 25 seconds, Aisha Malkimbaeva 5 minutes 55 seconds, Don Bruges 7 minutes 10 seconds. Well, thank you for your attention.
So, dear members and guests, if you have any questions to our officers, feel free to ask them now. No? Okay, let's move on. I hope you learned a lot of things about our club today, and if you are interested in any of the leadership team positions, please contact me, and later on I will announce about the nomination committee members. You can contact them. And on May 15th we are going to have elections where you can apply for any of the leadership position. So now I would like to invite to the stage our Vice President of Social Events in order to announce the social out venue.
So you already know my duties, so I will quickly tell you where we're going to have a social out. It's actually the #1 place that I will also show you, the top 3 social out places. So tonight we're going to have a social out at Tandoor restaurant. It's an Indian restaurant with their cuisine. So I invite all of you to join us. And the good news that we have 10% discount there for everyone. And it is located on Tolibi and Baitrusinov streets or Tolibi 102. So I encourage all of you to join us. Thank you.
Next week we are going to have a regular meeting, so thank you all for coming and joining us, and it's time to adjourn the meeting.